You are watching Mad Men Cafe live on Q2 Cast TV.
Atop his mountain fortress. It's the show that's 100 organic, 40 caffeinated, and at least 50 feet away from all historical monuments. He's the man who once successfully argued with a GPS until it started crying. He's faster than a speeding snail and capable of overthinking a greeting card at a single bound. Hide your snacks and lock your doors. Here's the madman.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Madman Cafe live high atop of my mountain fortress. Welcome all here. Welcome over if you've come over from the bunker from Sci-Fi for Me TV. Welcome aboard. Thank you. It's been one hell of a weekend, I tell you. Last night, we had the Hunger Games going on here in New York, aka the Met Gala. And we're going to show you the best picture that I thought, the best outfit or craziest outfit that you could think on that. But we got a lot to go through today. And of course, joining us right now is Outpost. Hey, Outpost.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yes, that's right. He's with us today. Snob will be he said he was going to be a little bit late. And Dean won't be joining us, but his show will be on tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll show you and link you to that episode. It's supposed to be a good episode. They're doing treasures. I think that's what they're going to be doing. But a lot to talk about. And, first of all, I got to talk about this, starting out. Saw a good movie the other night. We were talking about me and Outpost going there. Mad Mikkelsen on there, Dust Bunny, really good. If you haven't seen this yet, it's on Hulu. It's basically directed by Brian Fuller on there. Sigourney Weaver's in this. The girl hits it on all planet. Sophie Sloane, really good, underrated movie. It was won a bunch of awards to that. Hey, Keely, how you doing? Good afternoon on there. Yes, we're just about to get started with the Batman thing, but wanted to talk about Dust Bunny. If you guys haven't seen this, I really highly recommend it. To that, like I said, a lot of YouTubers have been recommending it as well. They've been reviewing it as of since it's hit Hulu, and they, everybody else said the same. It's pretty good. Is it a kids movie? I wouldn't show it to anyone under the age of 11 because there are some parts that are like it could scare a little kid on there, but preteens, yep. We're doing good. Outpost got his mic a little there. He'll be back in a minute. As far as that, we're doing pretty good. Weather's good on our end to that point. Outpost will be right back to that situation. And here we go. Let me adjust my chair. Didn't adjust it right. But yeah, it's basically it's 8-year-old girl. She lives in the city with her parents, and she thinks there's a monster under her bed. And she hires an assassin to take out the monster. And I'll tell you, everything goes crazy in this one. It's a good cast. Sigourney Weaver is very good in this one as well. And do check this one out. I mean, in a time when there are not a lot of good films out there, and let me tell you, this one missed me on the radar. And again, another movie that could have had a good box office run missed advertised, completely again. I don't know what the studios are thinking when they advertise these movies. And basically that, they sit there and they're like, oh, okay, there's this movie. Is it Dust Bunny? I mean, you got, is it Wildwood coming out toward the end of the year? I think around October. And that's the same people did Coraline, did the animation for Coraline, and it looks beautiful. I'm hoping that the studio behind it does it justice by on there because some of the behind the scenes on that it looks fantastic on there.
Yes, I'm
I'll
back.
post you
Sorry.
back. Oh, okay. No, it's okay. You know, Keely had just asked how you guys doing on there.
I'm doing pretty good. Just busy. Busy.
Yeah. And Cam is with us also. Hey,
What's up,
Cam.
Cam?
You know, on there, taking a little time to be with us as well. I was talking about the Dust Bunny, but we're gonna jump into the main crux of this. Let me find the section. Oh, nope, wrong thing. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Now, most of you, if you don't know who, and if I sorry if I misfield, I think Liefeld is his pronunciation of his name.
Liefeld sounds about. I think so.
Right.
I can
He
never
is
remember
the
which one either.
he's the co-creator of Cable and also Deadpool with writer Louis Simpson and Fabian Nicieza on there back in the 90s when that first came out. He was on, and I'm sorry I couldn't get the video on there. For some reason it wouldn't go through the editor. But basically, Rob was talking. Someone was asking him online, you know, what is your favorite versus the Invincible? And they were going through the whole thing. And he said, Batman, the animated series, is the superior over Invincible.
He's right.
And basically, a lot of people were freaking out online. You know, it's so much great action in on there, Invincible and stuff like that. But you know, Invincible, I like Invincible. Okay, as far as the story, as far as the comic, as far as the series goes, a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the issues that I have with it is the standard issues. I think a lot of other people has had with this. Of course, Robert Kirkman. You know, I'm a big fan of the comic. I've collected pretty much all of the Walking Dead, and you know, it's a great comic. The series, yeah, okay. The series is okay. There, it has its issues, especially in the last couple of seasons. But the comic is much better. Read the comic, get it. It's well worth it. I love a comic like that, especially that it's black and white. Excuse me. And Invincible is the same thing. Invincible, great comic. Hit Prime, and I got a video coming out. What is it? Tomorrow or the day after? That basically Kirkman says, well, he went to Prime and said, yeah, we got to change this and that because you know that he made mistakes, that he should have had more representation. And I said to myself, how can you say something like that as an artist?
Yeah.
If you created a painting, put it in the Louvre, and then later said, well, I didn't like that color there or that particular person in the background, I'm just going to eliminate it or change it. Why would you do something like that?
Exactly. Why would they? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Sacrifice their artistic integrity for the mob.
Exactly. I mean, you hear stuff like this, you know, from Robert, and then Kirkman wants to create now. And this is in part of that video that's coming out, that he wants to say, well, you know, I'm looking at creating some sort of anime manga type Western type thing. And it's like, no, you can't do stuff like that.
It's been tried and it's really failed.
It's not that it's that you could try and it'll be successful. Japanese anime is Japanese art. You can't create your own stuff. Stop looking at anime and manga for itself. The reason why anime and manga itself has been successful is because of their genre, because of how they make it. Create something your own. Don't copy their their patterns.
That goes to the question: is anime a genre or is it based on location?
I put it to more toward it's its own art.
It's like people have said,
You know, like Picasso. Picasso is its own art. Can you copy Picasso to the end? You can try, but it's
people
not a
said like
Picasso.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, Afro Samurai, shows like that who have that anime kind of art style or anime. I say no because it's not made in Japan,
Right.
and that's
Exactly.
where I think that's where the that kind of idea that he has, you can make that art style, but you really can't call it anime.
No, you can't. You can't sit there and say like and I hear it. I hear it from China, and I hear it from Korea also. The same thing in those situations. There's some great stuff that came out of China. The damn what the I can't remember the name of it now. That it was a great series that came out of China, and they're calling it anime, and I said no, and then people started giving it like a Chinese anime terminology different from anime. It's Japanese anime itself, which is like that's the way it's supposed to be. If China's making an animation, they should have dubbed it their own name. Same thing with Korea. To that point, everybody has their own art style. Leave it to that point.
Yeah.
And then Kirkman wants to say, "Well, I made bad decisions, as even though this is off Screen Rant, and Screen Rant's not the greatest articles in the world. That he made the worst decisions, and he told Amazon, "Hey, let's change it. Let's change this character to a minority. Let's change this character from male to female." And said, "No, no, what the freak you doing?"
Yeah. We
You could
we never
go
used
ahead.
to have that problem because we create original characters for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I hear it say now, like, oh, tell me a superhero, a black African American superhero without electrical based powers. There's a ton of them. One of my Mantis,
Mantis.
Icon, Booster, his sidekick. Um, so many. I have a list of
There's so many, and that's what I hate. Is we need to break the ceiling, the glass ceiling. So we've broken it
no. What
decades
they
ago.
need to do is they need to bring out these characters to the forefront. Give them like one of my favorite shows was set in the DC animated universe, Static Shock. Yes, he was an electric based
Mhm.
superhero, but it was so well done, so much fun. It dealt with gang violence and adolescence and like figure out what you want to do when you grow up, kind of because it was teenage based.
And Static it just now hit
Yes,
Tubi this weekend.
I love it.
It's now available on Tubi for you folks. If you guys in the chat
Yes,
haven't seen this yet,
check
and
it out.
those of you viewing on Rumble and X, welcome by the way. Up to that point, it's Static was a good series, and it interacted with
Mhm.
the rest of the
He
DC
teamed up with
universe. Yeah,
Batman. He teamed up with the Justice League.
yeah, teamed up. Yeah, exactly. And it worked. It's something that worked for itself. And it was that other series. What was the
The
robot
Zeta
series?
Project. He
Zeta,
took the form.
which I'm surprised. I'm shocked that they did not
He took
continue
the
with
form
that.
of a like an Asian man, didn't he?
Yeah.
Um, you have
Yep.
characters like Vixen, who we saw in the Arrowverse. Who Steel.
Mhm.
I would love to see a live action modern Steel. Well, we saw live action modern Steel in Superman and
Well,
Lois.
actually, we saw
No, I mean
one.
it's Superman and Lois, a good one, not the Shaquille O'Neal.
No, no, no,
I know.
no, no, no. The Steel movie with
That's why I
Shaq.
said we saw a good one in Superman and Lois. Um,
You had the one with Shaq, and it's like, oh,
that
good
was just like
Christ Almighty.
Steel and
I mean, it
Ray.
was a good premise, but really, Shaq?
They tried to make it.
You know,
They
you
tried to
could,
make him make. That's
yeah.
what I think. The beginning when they tried to make athletes actors. We saw.
Well, no, it's the second time that they try to make Shaq some sort of hero type. If you remember the video game Shaq
Yes,
Fu,
I remember that. Oh my god, I remember. I mean,
remember Shaq Fu? It's
yes,
like, holy, they put Shaq in a freaking video game and tried to put it out, and it did sell, but now it's like lost. It's almost as lost as ET now these days.
yes.
People say Shaq had a video
Mhm.
game. I said, yep, he had a martial arts video game
Yeah, that's like the
that just
Michael
really,
Jackson
yeah,
martial
go ahead.
arts video game. I remember that one too. They were throwing
Right,
everything to the wall and trying to see what stuck.
yeah, but the other part besides the work, the decision that Kirkman, on this, uh, to this point is that Amazon has spent all this money on the voice actors.
Yeah, they have a great cast. I was just talking about that with Kaiser Pineapple yesterday. It's such a great cast and it has been squandered almost to death. Except
Oh yeah, I mean, and they keep adding. I mean, you got guys that has done the Transformers. Optimus Prime is
yeah, he was
on this
Thetis,
show,
yeah.
and
Peter Cullen.
yeah,
Jeffrey
and,
Dean
and, and
Jeffrey
many
Dean
others.
Morgan, the
Jeffrey D.
Winchester's dad,
Morgan, um,
J.K. Simmons.
Sandra
Yeah,
Sandra
she's
Oh,
mom.
you know,
J.K. Simmons,
you know,
Nolan, of course. Uh,
yeah,
Stephen
exactly.
Yo, is that how you say his name? The guy who plays Invincible. Yeah,
Young
he was
Eddie's
in.
young.
Wasn't he in The Walking Dead as well?
Yes,
It's a great cast, but it's just
Callista Flockhart, Walton Goggins is in this. So I'm just going down through
uh
the list. Kevin Michael Richardson,
Zachary Quinto. Yeah,
and Jonathan Banks has been on this show. Zachary Quinto, Jason Masukas, Mark Hamill,
what was?
Michael Dorn, Clancy
Yeah, Michael Dorn was
Brown.
Battle Beast. I remember that.
Yeah, he was Battle Beast. You know,
I find it funny because
Ezra Miller has been on this
Michael
show.
Dorn is like
Jonathan,
he's more like Worf in season 3 of Picard than he actually is any other character he has because he's very laid back. He's a vegan,
hmm
like very zen, but then he plays these badass warriors, bloodthirsty warriors.
hmm
Um,
I mean, Tatiana Maslany is in here. LeVar Burton is in
Grey
here.
Delisle,
Phil
uh,
Lamar, which you expect Phil Lamar in any of this because he does a lot of great voice acting. Frank Welker, uh, Jeffrey Donovan.
I've noticed you've left one out specifically, and I think I
Who
know
did I leave
why.
out? I'm just going down the list. That's why.
Seth Rogen
Yeah,
as
I was coming
Alan.
to that. I was coming to
I
Seth.
can't stand him. He's a producer on this show, isn't he?
Yes, yes,
That's why
yes,
he's in this show because
yeah,
that's the only reason he can get roles unless because he has to be in a position of authority in the
yeah,
production. That's the only time he gets cast.
yeah. John Hamm has voiced the character. Laura Cohen, Sonequa Martin Green,
Michael
uh,
Cudlitz,
Michael Cudlitz,
who
Chad
played
Coleman.
he was in
He's
Band of Brothers and he
yeah,
played the most recent live action Lex Luthor.
yeah. Lenny James.
But this whole cast, it has just been
It's like
run into the ground.
you look at this cast, even the guest cast members and stuff, and holy shit, how much are they spending on cast members?
Wait,
And
Walter
then you
Bogner
see
plays
this
Cecil?
season, especially
Ow.
of all the errors that just in the production alone.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I'll bring this up because there's a couple of YouTubers and people on TikTok that have put together, scenes where they've reshaded the scenes and make them look much better.
Now I have a question. You said you've read the comics, or you know more about the comics than I do, probably,
hmm
right? Is what's her name between Nolan and Alan? What I can't. She's got a cool suit.
Yes, yeah. She's supposed to be male.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. In the comic
I
book,
had a
she's male.
feeling. I
Yeah,
had a
it's
feeling
been a gender
watching that.
switch. Yeah, it's a gender switch on that character.
She's got a cool suit, though. I really like her.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, the suit's great. The because she's from another world.
hmm
But it's basically it's a male character instead of a female character to that point.
See, watching this, the difference between this show and Batman is Batman really followed the idiom "less is more." Because they knew they would if they drew something they would have to draw hundreds of thousands or more. So a lot of times, like in the Batman suit, you didn't have the definition that you have in Invincible and Nolan. You wouldn't have the muscular definition because they knew that it would cost too much to draw that by hand at the time. The definition of the muscles, like you see the
hmm
chest, the pectoral muscles on Invincible and Nolan, you wouldn't see that in Batman, really.
hmm
So that's one thing I was in my research and watching the documentary that I realized that they talked about. They had a complete art style, and I think Invincible might have followed that idea that the original Super Mario had, to cover the mouth with a mustache so they wouldn't have
Mhm.
to animate the lips.
Yeah.
I think that's why every Viltrumite male has a mustache. But the
But
the
they went
bottom
cheap
line
on it.
is,
They went cheap.
yeah,
I mean, from what I understand, and correct me, anybody in the chat, if I'm wrong on this. From what I understand, is the production staff that handles the animation on that is a staff of 5 or 6
for one show, for this
for
big
the
a
entire
show,
series.
yeah, God Almighty,
That all the money they've spent is voice cast.
that would not surprise me.
And it's a shame because it is a good concept. He's got another comic book coming too, also very soon, Kirkman, very soon.
Mhm.
And when you have something like this, and you pull the trigger on the show, but you're hitting it from the story part of view, but when you can't keep your animation up and stuff like, I mean, Japanese anime gets slammed when it's awful.
Yes.
And Crunchyroll's been slammed a couple of times for some of the stuff they've put out.
Hmm.
And you look at it and you're like, holy shit, this is crappy anime. I mean, I could say that there's some anime from Japan that it's not the greatest in the world, but the story is good. So you tolerate that point. In a way, some people do tolerate Invincible as well for that. But the thing about it is it's just continuing to build upon build. I mean, they want to go to season 9 with this, which that will be how that will be completing the entire Invincible, story arc.
I'm wondering, because there's some story elements. I'm wondering how they're gonna get away with it. Because there's one story element. What's that? That short-haired female Viltrumite. I can't remember her name.
Oh, they haven't even gone to that direction. You're talking about the
Graping
assault
of Mark.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark's assault scene. No,
And
I think we've already surpassed that. They've skipped that.
Okay,
They've skipped over that. If I'm not,
because
mistaken.
you can't talk about man. I've heard women say men can't have that happen to them. Bullshit.
Bullshit. I've heard stories of that.
Yeah, arousal does not mean consent.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would have loved to see, because we're seeing, like, in the last episode of the season, we're seeing him deal with PTSD,
Right.
severe PTSD,
Oh, yes.
to the point he's hallucinating.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm wondering how Cecil's going to handle that.
Yeah.
I'm
He's already
wondering-
he's already admitted to Cecil that he has problems.
Yes, I'm wondering how they're going to handle that, and then I'm wondering how Cecil's going to.
They're already afraid of him.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Cecil's going to react when he finds out. Spoiler alert! Screw spoilers. That the Viltrumites are on Earth, living on Earth.
Oh, I know.
I'm wondering.
They're already making. I don't know if you've seen the memes on them yet. They're like, what is it? The Black Viltrumite. They're saying he's what's his name from Family Feud? The host of
Yes, Steve Harvey.
Steve
I can
Harvey.
see it. Yeah, that's Kevin Michael Richardson's voice character. That's another great Joker. Kevin Michael Richardson played Joker in Beware the Batman. I think that was the Batman.
The Batman,
Beware the
which
Batman
is also
was
now
another-
available. I believe available on Tubi now. Also,
He's such a great Batman, great voice actor,
Mhm.
great voice actor. But Batman the Animated Series had, for its time, a star-studded voice acting cast as well.
Well, you had the development of it. You had Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Mitch Bryan who did this series.
They were fans. They loved Batman, and
I mean, the writing
Yes.
alone, the music. Yeah, Danny Elfman and Shirley Walker with the music.
with the theme song. They were lucky they got the movie theme song.
Mhm.
And I found out something interesting in my research. When they were first given the assignment, hey, go create a little demo for this series, they took that demo and made it the opening sequence.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking that because that shot that you have the Warner Brothers shield and it fades to what you think are eyes, and then it spotlights from the Zeppelins. You
Oh yeah,
know, in that second, what show is going to come on because
yeah.
that
It's
deep
so
da
brilliant.
da da da.
Da, da, da,
It's
yeah, exactly.
oh,
You
and
know, go ahead.
it's so minimalistic because all you see is silhouettes in the shadows for most of it. Until the only time you see Batman is when at the end when he's illuminated by the lightning. There's no cue card.
Mm-mm.
There's no title. There's no title card in the entire opening sequence because it's Batman. You know what's coming.
Mhm. If you
And
weren't a Batman fan and you just flipped over
yes,
on TV and you saw this, you're like, "What the freak is this?"
I would say there has been no Marvel character who has impacted society more than Batman and Superman.
Mhm.
Out of the entire genre, every comic book character, they're the only two that I'm aware of that have never been canceled.
Mhm.
Every other superhero, they've had bouts, maybe 10, 5, 10, 15 years of just nothing. Not Superman or Batman. They were able to. Superman took that circus strongman idea and just went with it because his outfit, Superman's outfit, with the spandex with the underwear outside, that's the circus strongman outfit.
Mm.
Batman took that primal fear of the dark that every human has since our little ape brains were in the trees and gave it form and taught it karate. There's no there's no two greater superheroes in my opinion than Batman and Superman. And I'm sorry Wonder Woman, you're part of the big 3 in DC, but you go do you boo. You cannot hold a candle to Batman and Superman.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, we found out just as of late, comic book wise, One Piece has outsold
Yes.
the entire Superman.
Well,
To,
that's what happens when you do like once what every week for the past 30 years almost.
Mhm. I
Instead
mean,
of Superman, Batman's
we're
been
we
1 month,
over? We're like 1,050, I think now
something
on
like that.
something like that on One Piece. Which One Piece is very good. I'm disappointed that they're redoing it now because that to me that's like Dragon Ball Z Kai. It's like why? Why are you gonna redo it? Why are you gonna shove 300 episodes into like a
Yeah,
dozen episodes?
pretty much.
Yeah. Cam says,
That's a good point. Yes, Spider-Man may come close. Maybe the only
yeah,
one that comes close.
yeah, the only one comes close, and I love the Fox Spider Man.
The animated Spider-Man, the animated series.
The animated
Same, yeah,
Spider-Man series, the Fox one, not the one where he goes into space with the with
Spider-Man Unlimited.
yeah, unlimited. No, not that one. The original one on
See,
there. And the thing is that now you got the movie coming out. What is it? No Way Home, I think. Is it?
no, No Way Home was the last one.
No, no, not No
I
Way
think
Home.
this is brand new day,
Brand New Day.
something like.
Excuse me, Brand New Day. And the way it's looking that they were going to do the Man Spider. And then
Yeah.
I saw in an interview, someone interviewed that says, no, we can't do the Man Spider because we want a general audience and that we were going to scare the kids. I'm like, come on. Anyone who saw the freaking Man Spider from the animated series when was a kid and now they're adults, they're going to let their kids see a Man Spider situation
Mhm.
with Peter Parker.
My favorite Spider-Man the animated series arc was Secret Wars. The one where the Beyonder and Madam Web takes him to another planet. So he
Yeah.
chooses superheroes. He chooses like the Fantastic Four, Storm,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I think Captain America were the ones he chooses to be on his team.
As
And
good as that is, it doesn't hit to like the comic.
yeah, the thing that Spider-Man and a lot of '90s cartoons fell into was kind of you go back and watch, you're like, this writing is horrible
Mm-hmm.
because Peter in the Spider-Man in the animated Peter was always narrating what he had to do. Oh my God, if I don't do this, the Green Goblin will destroy the city. I have to go punch him in the face. It was like, dude. I did like the series finale when he travels to another dimension and meets Stanley.
Yeah, that was good. That was really well thought out
But
for that.
listen to we're talking about the cast of like Invincible. Just listen to the Batman cast. Kevin Conroy, of course, as
Mm-hmm.
Batman. The voice I hear when I'm reading the comics. is Kevin Conroy Batman and Mark Hamill the Joker. Remember,
Well, you also had Efra Zimbalist Jr.,
yeah,
Laura Lester, Bob Hastings, Robert Costello, and Arlene Sorkin.
John Glover as the Riddler, who went on to play Lionel Luthor, Richard Mole as Harvey Dent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking. David Warner as Ra's al Ghul. I just watched.
Perfect.
I just watched
As
it.
Ra's.
I just watched an episode, which is a Ra's al Ghul episode where it had Jonah Hex. He's basically kidnaps an old man from a nursing home, and he tells he's in a recording. He's telling Batman the story, and it turns out this old man is actually his son.
Now later, I'm doing a top 5, but that story is in my top 10 on there. Well, I'm only going to do 5, because there's so much to talk about in the top 5.
Kate Mulgrew as Tiger. I'm looking at the cast. Ron Perlman is Clayface. John Rhys Davis, and one of my personal favorite villains is Paul Williams as the Penguin.
Oh, yes.
Helen Slater as Talia. And a lot of these characters, a lot of the things that came out of Batman the Animated Series are now like cornerstones of DC Comics. Harley Quinn specifically.
Yeah. Harley Quinn, Batman the Animated Series is the first appearance, and she's in my top 5, of the Batman the Animated, of her appearance in the series. And she was gold.
Yes.
First time out, gold. Joker's favor. That's the name of the episode.
Yes. And the thing I liked, the villains on Invincible, they're interesting, but they're so two-dimensional. One thing I like about the villains in the animated series in Batman is they asked one simple question. They answered one simple question with their villains. Why are they like this? What broke them and made them like this? The one I go to off the top of my head is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze, in my opinion, is not a villain.
No, he's not. He's never been a villain. It's a misunderstood as a villain.
It's what happens when your whole world and in his case, it was his wife, dies. What would you do to save her? I was looking it up. There was actually a class that they offered at my college one semester. It was called The Psychology of Batman and Its Villains. All these villains.
Yeah, you have to watch Sub-Zero actually to get a good.
Yes. Oh,
besides that
that's
episode.
a great one.
Yeah.
And there's a reason they don't go to Blackgate Prison. They go to Arkham Asylum. Every character. Here's what Google AI. When I looked up the illnesses of the Batman villains for the Joker, it said psychopathy, antisocial personality disorder, and psychopathy often exhibiting sadistic behaviors. That's the Joker in a nutshell. For Two-Face, it's dissociative identity disorder, split personality stemming from severe trauma. One of my favorites, the ventriloquist. What are they? Schizophrenia and dissociative personality disorder. The ventriloquist and Mr. Scarface.
Yeah.
There's a great episode where he's finished his therapy. He's going to a halfway house, and he gets a job at Wayne Enterprises in the mailroom. And there's this great scene where he goes up to Mr. Wayne, Bruce Wayne, all nervous. Mr. Wayne, and he's like, Bruce is like, "Oh, I heard about you. I hope you're doing well." Batman wanted to help his villains. He wasn't just, "I'm going to kill you." He wanted to help them.
Yeah.
There's an episode, I can't remember the name of it, where Harley actually finishes her therapy. She goes out, but she relapses, and Batman tries to save her. And there's the end scene where she's like, "I don't get it. Why'd you stay with me all day? Someone who's giving you nothing but trouble." And Batman looks at her and hands her this beautiful pink dress that she had wanted in the beginning of the episode. He's like, "I know what it was like to have a bad day too one time." And she says to him, "Nice guys like you shouldn't have bad days."
Keeley says the Fox Kids animated universe had
Yeah.
so much potential to be as good as the DCAU.
Well, I think uh if it had come a few years later, if the Marvel animated universe came a few years later, it would have been just as great. But in the early '90s, when it was big, when it was Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Iron Man, the the writing was still kind of in that '80s feeling of really talking down to kids, and standards and practices were so all over them back in
Mhm.
the late '80s, early '90s. They couldn't do anything. Like um, in the documentary I was watching, a lot of the people who worked on Batman came from the Super Friends, and like they couldn't even show the Super Friends even so much as punching somebody because it was violent and kids would imitate it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, um, the standard and practices back then, it was just I mean, even when you went into the Batman Beyond series, standard and practices was on top of them, but they got away with so much.
Well, they interviewed in this documentary the standard and practice rep that they used on these series, and she was very understanding. She would let them do stuff a lot.
Yeah, and that's true, Keely. Look at the voice actors
Yeah, we were just
that
talking
voice
about that.
both anime
Great.
and anime VAS and Spider-Man. Yeah, no, most of these people worked interchangeably with a lot of this programming,
Mhm. Yeah,
back
I'm
then.
guessing a lot of the time back then it wasn't like, oh, you like I remember for like the 30th anniversary of Ninja Turtles, they did Turtles Forever. It was a series where
Mhm.
they like meet different animated versions, but they don't meet the '90s cartoon Ninja Turtles because the actors who did those voices were not allowed to come and voice the actors, the turtles for that. But then, like in the 2013 version, they did that kind of because, of course, you
Mhm.
had Rob Paulson playing Donatello and he was Raphael, so it was a lot of interchangeable. But one, yes, he was Mark. He was Mark Hamill was Hobgoblin as well. That's right. That's right, Keeley. And Mark Hamill was not the first choice as the Joker. That was Tim Curry.
Mhm.
Tim Curry was the first Joker, and one of the producers did not like him, and Andrea Romano fought to keep him, but failed. And I was gonna
And then
say,
I mean, and then you had you had the couple seasons of Batman the Animated Series, but then they started to make the movies.
yeah, they
And
started
then
the animated movies.
and then of course you have the classic hit, which I just got in the high
Oh,
resolution in
oh my
4K,
God, so
is
good.
Batman Mask of the
Yeah,
Phantasm, which is the definitive, the true Batman movie. And we're talking theatrical. Batman theatrical movie is Batman the Mask of the Phantasm. Why? Because it is a real, true Batman tale within itself. I mean
hmm
I mean, just to go through this and, and the arc of, the flashbacks back and forth, I mean, still to this day, that gives me the goosebumps is when Bruce becomes Batman for the first time in this,
hmm
and he puts the mask on, he turns around,
and scares
And
Alfred.
Alfred is frightened,
Yes,
completely frightened as he walks off, and it's
and
just like,
yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
"No, no, no, go ahead."
Dana Delaney, who went on to play Lois Lane in Superman in the animated series, she was
Mhm.
Andrea Beaumont.
Right.
Um,
Abe
the
Vigoda was in this. I loved Abe
yeah,
Vigoda was in this on this. And this was
um,
again Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, that worked on this. Bruce Timm, you
Bruce
know.
Timm worked all the way. I think in this all the way up. I think he. I don't know if he did it like some of the later animated movies we've gotten, but I know he did up until Justice League Unlimited.
Right.
Because I remember him talking about like they had the problems with like Superman cartoons. You had to find that balance of him actually facing a challenge
Mhm.
and um him being strong because there was like there's scenes in the first season of Justice League he gets shot by a laser and get like knocked out and they're like they couldn't find that balance with Superman.
Mhm. Well, joining us to the stream, they a little late, but as best as he can. We have Sci-Fi Snob joining us. Hey, Snob.
Stop.
Better late than never.
It's okay. You haven't missed much. We were just getting into Batman Mask of the Phantasm at this point.
Yeah. It's
All right, right on.
good.
You know, because we were talking.
What I miss?
Well, we were talking about Invincible. You know, about the creativity of Invincible, the problems, the issues, the bending of the knee by Kirkman saying, "Oh, I made a lot of mistakes, so I had to put more diversity in the series than the comic book." You know, obviously to that point. And of course, the technical end, where basically a lot of the animation was very poorly done because they spent most of their money on the voice actors.
Yeah. They got some big names in there, right?
Yes, and I think someone is
Yeah.
giving you a message out there. Ugh.
But
This is where we are right now.
Oh yeah, and you can't. You got to go back and talk about the Gray Ghost.
Hold that thought.
Okay, because
that's in my
we
top.
can't talk about this.
That's in my top 5.
Yeah.
So don't worry, we got that as well.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah,
Cam,
we got
see,
that.
Cam missed me. He was jealous. He's jealous. He's not here.
But I'm gonna say this: I think
I love
Batman
you
the
too,
Animated
Cam.
Series, kind of started following the same. Later on, the same problem that Invincible's falling into now. When they started doing Batman, the New Adventures of Batman and Robin,
Yes,
they tried to retool it. The animation quality kind of went down a little bit. Storylines were still great when they brought in. I think was it Jason? Which Robin did they bring in the second one? That wasn't Jason Todd, was it?
No, that wasn't Todd. That was the other one, the younger
Drake.
one. Drake, I believe it was Drake, if I'm not mistaken.
It started. It really kind of started going down a little bit, and then that's when they started with Static, and then Batman Beyond, which I fell in love with.
Oh yeah, and then of course, Paul Dini came back with
Hang
on, I can bring it up. Return of the Joker.
Yes, that is the best. That's my personal favorite Batman movie.
That should have had a theatrical release.
Yes. I love it when Terry's fighting the Joker and he's in the rafters laughing and the Joker's just getting pissed. He's like, "Don't laugh at me." He's like, "Why? I thought the Joker wanted Batman to laugh." And his response, "You're not Batman."
Yeah.
And you could it was so good.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they made 2 versions of this movie.
I don't know if I've seen.
Oh, Keeley says it was Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. I couldn't remember his first name. Thank you, Tim Drake.
Thank you, Keeley. Yeah, there are 2 versions of this movie. Anybody who goes out and buys this, make sure you get the uncensored version, because the story goes that Joker has died. How is he alive in the Batman Beyond universe, which is a great tale to tell. But the thing about it is, the way he dies is a horrible death.
Oh, yes, I've seen that one. I've seen it. Yes. It's like, oh my God, this is really a DC cartoon.
Yeah. You sitting there like, holy shit. Did he just die the same way he killed Bonk? Because Bonk dies the same way. His one of his one of the Joker
gang members. Yeah.
Yeah, the Joker gang member in the future is Bonk. He kills Bonk the same way he died. And it's like, holy shit, they just already threw this at us. But and what does the Joker say when he dies? He goes like, "That's not funny. That's not funny at all."
Yeah.
Sorry for the spoilers, folks, but it's
been
like
20, 30 years.
You have to understand is that in the Batman Beyond universe, the Joker is not alive. He's deader than disco. To that point. So how is he alive in this universe? That is the mystery of this entire movie. And when you find out, it is the most shocking thing you would see. I mean,
when it has Bruce Wayne himself in utter shock,
yeah,
it's bad.
When the Joker first shows up in this movie, it's like, Joker's here, Joker's back, And he goes, "Oh, who knows me better than you, Brucey?" And he's like, because Joker knows who Bruce Wayne is, that he's Batman, but it's like the look of it, and it just like that Batman is, Bruce Wayne is frightened. That Joker is standing in front of him is amazing.
And when he finds out why, I love that scene. He gets up and he's just leaning over the Bat computer, and he's just an utter shock. It's just
he's running the voices. He's
fear.
running the voices through the voice analyzer, and it is Joker's voice.
Yeah.
How could Joker be alive if he's dead? To the point. I mean, besides Will Freedy, that he does the voice, of Terry. Kevin Conroy's in this, Mark Hamill,
Yes,
Angie
course.
Harmon, and Melissa Joan Hart. Melissa Joan Hart as the twins is and the big reveal of the twins at the end of the movie.
Yes.
It's so good on that.
Mhm.
But this is it's a shock, and it's the same thing with Commissioner Gordon, which is Batgirl. In this universe, Batgirl is now the commissioner of the police department. She's taken over from her father's position.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you're telling Terry you don't want to mess with this. You want to stay the hell away from this whole situation.
Yeah, and the way she tells the story of what happened is just chef's kiss. Well done.
Oh yeah. I mean, Snob, have you seen this?
So was it time travel cloning?
No.
No, I actually have seen this. I have seen this, but
it's not.
It was a
cloning.
while ago, and I forget. Like, I mean, you guys
it's
are
not
talking
cloning,
about it.
It's technology.
I know. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm listening.
It's old
and
cabinets
I
technology.
remember I saw it a year or two ago, and I can't. I'm trying to remember. You guys are giving me these little hints, and I'm like, yeah, this was
Should
really.
we just go ahead and
it was an
reveal it?
excellent movie.
It's basically cabinets technology injected into somebody.
What it is, it's someone's kidnapped by the Joker, and they have this chip that overrides their entire personality.
Yes, the chip. Now I remember.
Yeah.
There's a scene at the end with the
just
chip.
basically slowly, Joker is taking over their existence.
Yeah, his it's like his personality's in the chip or something, and he starts taking. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, over somebody. Yeah, that was pretty.
Technically, this was supposed to go one step further after this movie, but they never pulled the trigger. That basically the chip was connected to the internet, and that basically the Joker is technically living in the internet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in one of the comic books.
Personality or something.
Yeah, the personality. They made one of the toys for it, on there, but it just never clicked.
Because
it never got to
this was
fruition.
An abrupt series finale in a movie form. We never. It wasn't until epilogue in Justice League. I think the end of season 1 of Justice League Unlimited, season 1 or 2, which was supposed to be the end of that series, that we learned anything more about Terry McGinnis.
Oh yeah, and that was a big shocker to everybody, and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah,
I'm really so glad that they gave an ending to Batman Beyond, because it never got it in the TV series.
We didn't see anything more of him until he came back to Crisis on Infinite Earths like a year or two ago.
I have to look. I just got the box set a couple of months ago, and I haven't even really cracked it open yet. But I have to look if the Justice League episode is in there. I have the Justice League episode
Epilogue
in my collection. The epilogue in my collection. I have the original DVD version. I have to get the.
Okay.
I think there is a Blu-ray upgrade on that.
Why wouldn't be in it?
Well, no, in the Batman Beyond box set. Sometimes they put it, sometimes they don't.
The Batman Beyond, yeah. I think this Batman Beyond was a really great evolution of Batman the Animated Series. It really told the story. It gave the answer of what will Bruce do when he gets too old to do this. And I love that scene where he's in this bat suit, but he still gets his ass kicked. So he pulls a gun on one of the bad guys, and you see the utter shock. He's like, his hand is shaking. He's looking at it in utter shock, and he just throws the gun away. And then he realizes, he said, "That's the moment I ended it. I'm done." And Batman disappears for like 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Because
I love how this was done. I really the Batman Beyond and all the villains, and you have a great finale for Mr. Freeze.
Yes. I love that scene where he's cured. He goes visits Nora's grave, and this assassin shows up. and they unmask it, and he's like, "No, don't kill me, don't kill me." It turns out it was one of his victims.
No, it wasn't Nora's grave. It was his own grave.
Was it his grave?
Nora's still alive.
I thought
But she's married. She's married to someone else.
But he's like, "I don't know who you were." He's like, "You took everything from me. I'm sorry." And he's just like utter fear.
Yeah.
And then he relapses because, But again, that's true.
That's true too.
Maybe not in the form of it now, but
I would have loved to have seen a little bit more to this with the Justice League.
Yes, I would have.
With the Batman Beyond.
Shooter McGavin, that actor played Superman.
Yep.
I can't remember his name. But yeah, it was an interesting roster for the Justice League. You have that Buddhist monk, Green Lantern, Warhawk, Shira Hall, and John Stewart's son.
Yeah, the son on there, and then you have the Aqua Girl.
Yeah, and for some reason, like they never I read that for some reason Aquaman's disappeared. No one knows where he's at, and she's searching for him.
Yeah.
You had Big Barda, which is not surprising. She's an immortal god. So I would have loved to learn like what happened to Mr. Miracle and all those other characters supporting.
Actually, we're getting supposedly they're pitching a series for Miracle.
I would love to see that. He's got such a unique power. Christopher McDonald. Keely, your Google Kung Fu is strong today.
Yeah.
And the Starro storyline was great.
Yeah.
But
again, but I would have loved to have seen a Justice League Future, other than the Legion that they've done. They've done a couple of Legion series.
Yeah.
In the year 3000, but I would have preferred to see something from the Beyond universe.
They called it the Justice League Beyond. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen something like that on the screen. I mean, like I said, this movie, I have Batman Beyond in the animated series. I have the movie. Actually, the movie comes, if you buy the box set on Batman Beyond, the uncensored version is included in this, but I also have it separately on them because it was sold separately too. And I have Batman the animated series, which right now, if you guys are interested out there, I think it's on sale this week for like $40 for the box set. I think the Beyond is still selling for under $20 for the box set out there.
Can I bring up one last Batman villain that I absolutely love?
Oh, right ahead.
Baby Doll. Remember her?
Yes. Baby Doll. There was a couple of the Rogues Gallery that wasn't talked too much, but you had them in the animated series.
This idea of being a superstar and then having it all taken away from you and being in it's like body dysmorphia to the extreme with her, because she's a 30-year-old woman trapped in a 5-year-old's body due to an illness out of her control. So
you had a couple of characters with body morphic problems, besides Clayface, Baby Doll. I forgot the other one that she was. She keeps her face covered.
Yes, and then they literally removed the mask, and she goes,
and she's gorgeous,
screaming.
And she's gorgeous. But
Batgirl looks at Batman. It's like, what's the problem? I don't get it. And he said, sometimes the scars are just there. Like, so you can't. Sometimes you can't see the beauty. But I love that scene at the end of her episode. She's in the Hall of Mirrors, and Batman's chasing her, trying to catch her, and she sees this one mirror that shows her what she would look like as a full-grown woman, and she's got that doll that shoots bullets, and she stops dead in her tracks, and she just starts crying, and then she just boom, 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 boom at the mirror, turns around, still clicking an empty gun doll, and Batman, she just drops. She sees Batman standing behind her, drops it, and just breaks down, and Batman just puts his hand on her head. Like he knows she's not evil. He knows that many of these villains he fights, they're not evil, they're sick. and it's not his fault that Arkin couldn't keep a water in a bucket, let alone these these sick people in a cell.
Mm-hmm. Well, coming up on the next hour, we're coming up to the top of the hour. On the next hour, I'm going to be giving my top 5 Batman the Animated Series favorites of mine. But before we go on any further, because we get at the top of the hour, we got that little moment of the asylum moment's coming up. But before we get to that, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like. We have super chats, we have memberships, we have t-shirts out there also as well, listed in the description. If you're interested, onto there, help support content creators like this, because you've seen what's going on with YouTube. We're talking about, what is it, 500, at least 500 content creators have been removed from monetization. You believe that? 500. And it's growing every day, because that's the last count on that. So help support, the stuff you like. That's what we're here. We love doing this. We've Outpost, Snob, we've all worked and given you some great content out there, and we're going to be giving you more great content in the near future. But so let's get into the asylum moment this week, because we got a good one on here.
Somebody
listen up.
Okay, before we get into this, so we can give a bit of detail. Out in Milwaukee, there is a baseball team called the Madison Mallards. I think it's the AAA team on there. Well, this season, they're introducing something special that they'll be selling in July. And we'll let Channel 58, I think it's CBS 58, explain what it is.
Up to this, the Madison Mallards are introducing some new wearable food fashion.
Okay.
This is the Wiener wallet.
I'm sorry, what? Can you say it again?
It is the Wiener wallet.
Okay.
They say it's a holster for your hot dog, a
All
place
beef?
to tuck your tube steak, a carrier for your coney.
Oh,
my gosh.
is that what they're
The
calling it?
Mallards are including a Wiener wallet breakdown. It's an expandable belt with a condiment pouch.
Uh-huh. Always got to have a pouch for your condiment.
Gotta be safe.
And a place for your hot dog.
Yep.
It will be given away
Stop.
at the Mallard Games on July 18th.
I'm not
Okay,
mature
is
enough
this...
for this.
Are we sure this is not an April Fool's joke?
This definitely could be, Justin.
This has to be.
This has got to be.
But you know
The
what?
innuendo is just too strong.
The wording of all of this.
A condiment pocket?
Question.
A place
I'm
for your
also-
hot dog? Come
I'm
on.
afraid to ask, but
Don't. Then just don't. It's okay.
but do they have different sizes of these?
Oh, for
Obviously.
sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Depends on how much condiments you like on your hot dog,
That is true. And other
Do
questions.
you want mustard, ketchup,
Gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is real. I've had to look this up. Okay. Oh, wow. Keely Chow's on it too on there. The Madison Mallards are collegiate summer baseball team. Thank you on that. This is real. According to the lookups on this, that on July 18th, they will be giving a Wiener wallet to the fans out there.
Oh,
gentlemen, your thoughts?
This is. This.
I mean, it obviously fills a need that some people have. I guess. Important.
I can't with these people. I understand the need to fill the seats. I mean, look at this. The Savannah Bananas. Everything they've done is to fill the seats, and they're awesome. But is this not giving ammo to other countries? Americans are so fat they have to have a gun holster for their hot dogs.
I like how it's expandable.
Of course, it's got to be.
Yeah, but this is in Milwaukee. I would expect this down maybe down Texas way, or southern states or something like that.
How dare you, sir?
I'm sorry. I lived in the South. Come on, I had 10 years in the South. To that point, I would expect it down there, but to have it like up in Milwaukee,
But it's done what they wanted. It's got us talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's marketing genius.
It is. It is marketing. No, it is. I'm surprised a lot of other media hasn't picked up on this yet because this is hysterical. Probably when we get closer to July, we'll probably see a lot more on this on the media.
I remember a few years ago, I think it's in New Jersey, this ball field. They were the ones that invented donut cheeseburger, where they take a donut, cut it in half, and grill up a cheeseburger and use instead of buns the donut.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That sounds awful.
Oh, shut your mouth! That sounds delicious.
Sounds awful.
There's a couple of restaurants. There's a couple of restaurants in New York that does that.
Oh my goodness! I mean, you Americans are great for there's going to the state fair and there's everything fried, right? Like,
okay, Mr. Poutine.
Poutine, yeah. What's wrong with that? It's fries with cheese and gravy on it. Come on, that's not like a cheeseburger and a donut.
Yeah, well, Keely goes, speaking of filling seats at a baseball stadium, AEW could do a pretty good job filling Citi Field for a stadium stampede match for double or nothing.
I haven't been to a baseball game. I think the last time was
it's been a while.
Braves game in like 2007, 2008, and that was a preseason game.
It's the 90s, back when I was in Miami, and I used to, when the Miami team just started, and we were getting the company I worked for, we were getting tickets left and right. So we used to go to a lot of the games on there. And it had great seats too, on top of that. So that's it for Asylum Moment. But I have to also give the Asylum Award for the week. And yesterday was the Met Gala, or as we call it, the Hunger Games. And of course, the ridiculous costumes on there that everybody have. But I have to give the Asylum Award for the week to a Cardi B, who dares to basically wear a costume for biology, as she looks like the large intestine.
I see it.
You see it, right?
Where is she? You can barely see her in it.
Yeah, what's are you sure it's not a worm from Dune?
Or maybe a fart in the air?
That's the God Emperor.
Literally, I mean, this is insane that that she wore this. I mean, there were some other costumes that were insane to that point.
They're not costumes. They're not.
I know. No, it's the Hunger Games. It's like even Jason said today, it's the Hunger Games.
Excuse it. These are just they're idiots, rich idiots who just want to fucking show off. And then cry that, the people are too poor. How much did a ticket to this fucking cost? Like $10,000, I think I heard.
Something like that.
Why don't you give that money to a food bank? So fucking ridiculous.
All this,
and you're like, oh wow, this is like way over the top. No one would ever be crazy like that. And this
Cam,
this is worse. This is beyond that.
You are right, Cam, and I will never say that again.
I told you the God Emperor was evil. Evil.
God, this makes me realize why the aliens don't show up to our fucking planet.
Or they've seen the Hunger Games and they understand it.
This is ridiculous.
All right. Well, enough of that for this.
Does anybody have the marketing people who did the Wiener Wallet? I'm thinking maybe I could hire them for my channel. They're geniuses.
Get the snob wallet.
Ew.
They might be able to come up with something different, but I'm just saying. They're marketing. They don't have to copy the same thing. They're marketing genius, though. I mean, awesome idea.
Yeah. So let's continue on with our adventure, Invincible and Batman, the animated series. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you my top 5 best episodes. Even though I have a top 10. Actually, I have a top 25, really. But
Wish you
hold
would
on
have
a
asked
minute.
us. About that.
Imagine what
wouldn't be
is it?
mine.
Imagine what the Daily Bugle reporter having to cover the Met Gala in the Marvel universe.
I'm betting there's a comic that does that. I'm wondering. I'd have
Yeah,
to look
so
that up.
do I. Have to look that up. But yeah, I'm
Or
going to give you a
get Clark Kent out there and let him cover this.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give you a top 5. And basically, we're going to go a little in depth on that. So we're going to start off with number 5, obviously. It is a good episode. It is the first time introduction of this particular one particular character in this series. Of course, it is the Joker's favor. Now, that's season 1, episode 7. For those of you who haven't seen this particular episode, Charlie Collins, a mild-mannered Gotham City accountant, is coming home from a bad day at work when he curses at a bad driver who turns out to be the Joker. He tries to escape, but the Joker follows him and forces him into the woods where his car stops. He gets out, thinking he has escaped him, but the Joker suddenly appears, pleading for his life. He promises the Joker he will do anything for him if he'll let him go. And the Joker says, well, he takes his ID and stuff like that and says, I will call you one day for a favor. He says, well, what would be the favor? He says, well, I haven't thought of it up yet, man. Got to give me a moment, as he says in there. Because it's a good episode. The Charlie character is a nice little add-on to this. But most of all, the important part for this episode is this is the actual first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Voiced by Arlene Sorkin.
Mm-hmm. Her first ever voice acting role.
First for everything?
Yep.
Except not the comics, right?
Well, no, she was a soap opera actress. And the reason that they got
you can look voice acting.
Yeah, that
she was a comedian.
She did a Harley Quinn type character on one of the episodes of the soap opera she was on.
She was friends with one of the producers, and
right.
when they developed her, he had her in mind because her comedy routines she'd been doing at the time.
Right.
And knocked it out of the park. Created one of the best. I wouldn't. They really ruined her in the past few years, though. I think, but amazing villain.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why you don't commit an act of road rage in Gotham.
Yes.
And of course, the cast: Mark Hamill is the Joker, Arlene Sorkin, Ed Begley Jr. plays Charlie Collins, and Neil Ross is Henshaw, which is I think that's one of the other villains on there. And of course, Robert Castellano as Harvey Bullock, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon on there. This is a great episode. It is a lot of fun with this, especially with the Joker. Charlie goes off, changes his name, moves his whole family and everything like that, and then he gets the call from the Joker.
Yeah,
he gets the call and says, I've never lost you. To that point.
Speaking of Harley, Stockholm syndrome or battered person syndrome and histrionic personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Those are you can see the Stockholm syndrome like a fucking beacon.
Oh yeah,
like a lighthouse beacon. It's insane.
Yeah. But I think the best part on this is actually because what it is, I think, was the Commissioner Gordon is getting an award, and Joker is going to crash the award ceremony, obviously. And basically, he drags Charlie into this whole situation, and he says, "Oh, what do I got to do?" He says, "Well, all you got to do is open the door." He says, "That's it?" I said, "Yes. Look at the cake, man. Look at the cake. Harley can't do it all by herself." Because that is just Mark Hamill at his best when he says that. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic to this whole nature, and of course, the ending on this, Charlie gets revenge on the Joker, obviously on there.
Oh my God, he out crazies the Joker.
Yes.
So that actually, a lot of psychologists will use that scene to show that Joker is not crazy. He's not antisocial. He's not a psychopath, because psychopaths usually don't have that um, self-preservation mode that the Joker showed in that scene. So
yeah. I mean, like I said, when Charlie confronts him, and he's like, no, no, no ending battle with the Dark Knight. It's just poor old Charlie Collins and the Joker.
He's got one of his like exploding clocks. Yeah, I remember that
He
scene.
gives him exploding clocks and he throws it. And it's like boo, and even Batman laughs.
Yeah,
Is it funny? Ha ha. When they walk away on this one. Snob, have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen. I've watched a lot of the animated series. I think I remember this one. This was a while back again. Yeah, I mean it's it's a good episode for sure.
Oh yeah,
it was in
I'm not
'92,
sure
so
that I've
you had to
seen
be
all of
what,
them.
in your 40s by then?
No, I watched. I watched it recently.
And yes, from another episode, the Joker isn't crazy enough to take on the IRS. Yeah,
I didn't watch it live.
It's like, I may be crazy, but I will never take on the IRS.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you guys are mentioning that. I mean, the Joker's interesting in that sometimes. I mean, sometimes he does seem to be, concerned about his own self-preservation. Other times, though, not so much. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if he seems like he turns it on and off sometimes.
Yeah, I think.
Well, the thing is with the romance with Joker and Harley, as it progresses, you find out that Joker's just using Harley.
Definitely.
There's that episode where Harley traps Batman in one of Joker's traps that he's never sprung, that she was able to do it properly. And, Batman saying like, Joker's just using you, to that point. And, of course, Joker shows up, smacks her, for doing it, and tosses her out the window.
That's not,
that's
I mean, that's the assumption and the usual, that's what you would think for the Joker. But is there not?
Well, no, you've had several
episodes where occasional within the Batman universe where he does show some that perhaps it's not true.
It's not true. I think if it was if that last scene was with Batman, he would not have cared. He would have said, "Go ahead and do." But it's not bad. He does not want to. For the Joker, the only one worthy enough to deal with Batman is the Joker. There's an episode where a guy learns Batman's true identity, so he gathers everyone in Gotham, all the rogues, Batman's rogues, and auctions to sell the information, auction off the information. Joker comes in, like, breaks up it, like, attacks him, and is like, no, if anyone's going to find out who Batman is, it's going to be me. And it's this idea that only he's worthy enough to deal with Batman and vice versa, and Batman's the only worthy opponent. If it was not Charlie, Joker would not be like, oh, no, he's crazy. If it was Batman.
Well, there's a big joke in the Harley Quinn series, where they have Batman tied up, Scarecrow and Joker, and Scarecrow freaking rips his mask off, and he's like, "Is Bruce Wayne?" And he goes, "I didn't want to know." And Joker's like sitting there, and he kills Scarecrow. He says, "You've messed this whole thing up." And the other line is after he kills it, he says, "And there's another thing, Bruce. Where are the flying cars? I've been waiting to buy."
I hate that show. I hate it.
It's it has its points, and it in the other half, it's just it's just crazy. It's a show that's just it's.
See, that's part of the craziness of Joker. You don't know where he's going to come from. Is he going to be this, extreme sanity or the extreme insanity that we see? So that's what I like about him. And I don't like these versions that give him a backstory. I don't want to know who he was.
No, Joker does not have a backstory. All those backstories are a lie. When I said that episode when Harley had captured Batman and all that, Batman says, "Oh, did he tell you about the abusive father, or maybe the missing mother?"
In the Dark Knight,
he's all playing you. They're not real. And he's like the Batman saying those are just
in
things
the Dark
he says.
Knight,
You can't
every
believe it.
time Heath Ledger's Joker tells, you want to know how I got these scars? He changes the story every time.
Exactly, because there isn't a
Yeah.
true. We don't know who
We
he
could
is.
do a whole
That's
2 hours on the
that point.
Joker alone.
Oh yeah, of course. So now let's get on to number 4. Now number 4 is a bit tangled web because technically it's a 2-part. This is one of the 2-parter episodes, but it actually a 3-part because it kind of starts off on this episode off balance. Now, if you're not familiar with Off Balance, this is the first appearance of Talia, which is basically Talia comes to Batman, to a whole situation, whereas one of the League of Assassins has taken something from Wayne Enterprises, and they're looking for it onto the point. And the way this ends is you find out that Talia is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, which leads us to the proper episode for it, which is The Demon's Quest, episodes 57 and 58, which is a great episode.
David Warner as
David Warner as
Ra's.
Ra's al Ghul. The way it starts is Robin returns to Gotham, sneaks into his room only to find a group of people waiting for him. They hit him with a tranquilizer dart and he falls unconscious. The leader of the group is a man in a jackal mask and is pleased. Later in the Batcave, Batman tells Alfred that Robin has been missing for 2 days and searches for him fruitlessly. Alfred gives him an envelope that is addressed to Bruce Wayne, and he opens it and is shocked to find a note inside referring to him as Batman, and the attach has a picture of Robin tied up. Then, a mysterious man and his servant enters the Batcave, revealing that they know who he is. The man introduces himself as Ra's al Ghul and his servant Ubu. And they go on the quest to try to find Robin, which, obviously this turns into a test for Batman, that basically Ra's is looking for a replacement. On to there. David Warner plays this so well.
See, look at the simplistic designs of the clothes.
Oh, the animation alone is just
the background. I was reading up the background. The way they did the backgrounds, they would draw it on black, and then they would draw the assets, and it allowed them to pull light out of it, not put light on it. So you had this dark the shadows like up here, right there to the side of Ra's al Ghul's on the head on the wall of the Batcave. It allowed these great shading moments in the background, which were all hand drawn, hand painted. Not like today. This is another thing that Invincible does that I hate. They use CGI for everything. I love hand drawn animation, like we are seeing here. This was, I'd probably say 4 or 5 years before they started getting away from CGI.
Yeah, Keely, thank you for reminding me, because that was that villain I was thinking of in Off Balance, which is Count Vertigo. To that point. But also, Talia was voiced by Helen Slater.
Yep.
And then later by Olivia Hussey.
I think Outpost makes a good point about the animation. I really like, this is old animation, and you can tell because the backgrounds are not as, I don't want to say dynamic, but it's obvious there's a background, and that's and that they're fairly static comparatively, but
they're so beautifully done.
Stuff. Yeah, they're so beautifully done, and I like this. I prefer this style of animation. I agree with you about the the CGI stuff is kind of overdone at times, and some of that. This is the classic animation style, the DC style. I mean, there could be the Batman. This series in particular, there's a little bit of there's not a lot of depth or detail in the backgrounds as much. They're obviously focused on the the characters and stuff, but And that kind of fits for a Batman movie, Batman TV show, because you can make everything sort of dark and shadowy and stuff. You don't need to do as much detail.
Well, I mentioned before you got here, Snob, we were talking about this a little bit. They wanted to keep it as simplistic as possible because, like they said, they were still doing this by hand, and if they when they drew something, they knew they were going to have to draw it hundreds of thousands more times. So they wanted to keep them as easy. Like you can tell that's a cape around that's a cloak around his neck, but you don't see like the ripples in the fabric that you'd see. Very simplistic green, two-tone green tunic and trousers with a simple black belt. But it's in the eyes and the face you get a lot of the detail, a lot of more of the emotion that I think we don't get very much anymore.
Yeah, they're putting the time and the effort into the right places.
Yes.
As opposed to spending all your time drawing some fancy cape.
Yes.
Let's get the characters, the characters' facial expressions, and because that's what we're going to be reading a lot from.
Yes, exactly.
And
you're right. This is season 1. They're doing 65 episodes, right? Like that's
right.
They only did a total of 85 episodes in this entire series. So first season was
La Costa Vampa. If you're new, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Invincible is overrated. Just more ultra violent cape shit. Not bad, but not great, which I do agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Compared to the Batman the Animated Series, and this is why there's so much, there's been so many people talking about this as of late online, trying to compare it. Some people saying that, Invincible's better, but no, when you're hearing stories like this, like the Demon's Quest, this is, going into the second part where, Roz is dying, and they throw him into the pit, and he comes out, and he's like, he's like completely insane, and he's about to throw his daughter into the pit, and the thing about it is that if you look at it to that perspective, throwing his daughter in the pit, and then realize her fate when you get to the Batman the Animated, the Batman Beyond series. For those, I don't want to give this away. We're probably going to give it. Yeah, we'll give it away. Sorry, here we go. Spoilers. Talia shows up in Batman Beyond, wanting to give Bruce, rejuvenate him.
Yeah, we find out that it's all a ruse, and Raish has he's implanted his personality into Talia's body, and basically killed Talia because the Lazarus pits basically stopped working on him after so many centuries, and it's disgusting. That's just the thought of that, doing that to your own daughter, is just disgusting and incestuous almost.
Yeah, and and when you think about everything that even in this series, which is in the Batman the Animated Series, what Roz has done in this series, it just makes sense for his character, and it makes it for perfect, character role for him. I mean, it is fantastic. I mean, we were talking earlier, you and me, I'll post. We were talking about that episode, the railroad one, in the West, that whole story, that Roz's back was technically that's enemy of the, in a way that's it's sort of remaking Vincent Price's Enemy of the World that they're doing at that point. And it's a good story that he's telling it to Batman via audio cassette, and he says when you hear the whole thing, you'll stop coming after me.
Yeah, and this is another character that is a hero in their own mind. He's an eco-terrorist, but to him, he's trying to save the world from mankind.
Yeah,
so that's what I like. I like these three-dimensional villains, not the two-dimensional ones that we kind of see in Invincible.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of my favorite villains
on that. So number 3. Yep. I know this one's a favorite of yours, Outpost, because you said you were talking about it earlier. Of course, it is. Come on. Beware of the Gray Ghosts, episode 32.
You remember who the bad guy was in this episode?
Hang on. I didn't.
No, Bruce fucking Tim was the bad guy in this episode. He put the characters modeled after him, voiced by him. So funny.
Yes, the bad bomber. The whole premise of this story, for those of you who haven't seen this yet, is basically a bomber is striking Gotham at the moment at certain banks. The situation, but the thing about it is, it's remnant. It sort of remembers to a TV series called The Gray Ghost, which Bruce grew up on when he was a kid, and was his favorite TV show when he was a child.
Who starred in it?
And guest starring in it is an original Batman, Adam West, playing
As
the Gray Ghost. And I got to bring this up on here because I have a picture up here from back then.
Yes.
There's a picture there, Conroy and Adam West in the audio room.
Yeah.
Playing the characters, Batman and the Gray Ghost. And you hear that little hint of Batman, because Adam West, he doesn't lose that Batman voice.
Well, Conroy was the first Batman to really change his voice between Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Right.
He wanted that distinction because, as he put it, Batman was the real person, Bruce Wayne was the persona. And a lot of people it's the other way around. No, Bruce Wayne pretty much died in Crime Alley with his parents, and Batman is the one who survived.
Right. Who survived.
And a lot of Batman says that a lot of his persona, like the Batcave, everything was based off the TV show that Beware the Gray Ghost that he watched as a kid.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, at certain points, Batman thinking it is the Gray Ghost that's doing this.
Yes,
because basically the little roller, the little remote control cars, it was something from his collection.
Yeah, it was like a plot in the Gray Ghost TV show, if I remember correctly.
Right. And basically, the actor who was playing the Gray Ghost in the episode, I forgot his name on there.
Adam West.
Simon Trent.
Simon Trent was the character.
Yeah. And basically, he was selling his collection to Ted Dimer, who was the Mad Bomber.
Yeah.
To that point. And, it's a good team up because Batman and the Gray Ghost are, running through Gotham, trying to figure it out. And he even takes them to the Batcave.
Yeah, I love the final scene where he's kind of got a second wind in his career. He's wrote a book and stuff, and
they're re-releasing the episodes on DVD.
Batman had told him while they were working together, the Gray Ghost inspired me. My father and I used to watch it together all the time. And Bruce goes get a signature, and as he's walking away, Bruce turns around and says, me and my father used to watch Gray Ghost together all the time, and it dawns on Simon who that was.
Yeah,
exactly. You cannot tell me Simon did not put two and two together.
Yeah, no, he did. He did.
Yeah.
The way Adam West says, he's really.
I actually have a Superman character I came up with, not too much. I realized I kind of made him a little bit like the Gray Ghost. He's called the G-Man. The G can either stand for government or Gotham. And he uses his skills that he learned as a government agent to help Batman. It's kind of a little story I just write for fun. And I just realized looking at it, I'm like, I just made a different version of the Gray Ghost.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So, like I said, this is a great episode.
It really bought the
get Adam West and to have Kevin Conroy working together, two different versions of Batman, on there. Your thoughts, Snob?
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I've seen this one. I've seen a bunch of these episodes.
It's a good episode.
I don't know that I've seen one. A question for you: is this episode 32 or episode 18?
This was episode. Hold on,
because I have it as says
32,
18.
Well, it depends on the order. As far as when you get it in the listings, it's listing it as 32.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It might be under
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if because I've been going through these ones from the beginning, so that's probably why I haven't seen it, because it's closer to the end.
Keeley goes at the end. It showed a movie poster of Matt Hagen as the Gray Ghost, and what else? I wouldn't be surprised if a Batman action figure, the Mad Bomber, broke was from Kenner. Yeah, that's right, because the Mad Bomber had a Batman doll and it broke. He slammed it down on the table.
Yeah.
On that. So number 2 is another 2-parter. And of course, we're soon we're getting the movie version.
Yes, that looks interesting.
It looks interesting on that. It's Feet of Clay, episodes 4 and 5 of season 1. Which it's hang on, I had the thing up. The plot is, excuse me, a strange meeting takes place in an abandoned tramway station in Gotham at 3:00 in the morning between Lucius Fox and Bruce Wayne. Fox gives him a suitcase full of evidence to Bruce, which incriminates Roland Daggett in an illegal scheme to take over Wayne Enterprises, though through insider trading. Bruce, with a surprisingly rather sinister smile, says he plans to destroy it, and a group of armed henchmen appear from the upper levels of the tramway and try to kill Fox. Batman springs from the ceiling and stops one of the 3 thugs, but stops short of detaining the remaining 2. Wayne, obviously an imposter, escapes, leaving the near fatally wound Fox behind, who identifies Bruce as his attacker when he is found by the police before passing out. It is revealed that Bruce's imposter is actually Matt Hagen, a former famous movie actor. Hagen developed a serious addiction to renew a dangerous experimental chemical developed by Daggett's laboratories. And I mean, this is really, really good. And trying to remember the voice cast on it because I don't have it in front of me. Matt Hagen, here we go. Yeah, Ron Perlman did Clayface, and let's see, Lucius was Brock Peters and Mel Winkler, depending on what episode that was. And of course, Roland Daggett was played by Ed Asner on there, which I'm hoping that the movie version will bring in Roland Daggett. To that point, we lost Outpost. Oh, there's Outpost. Okay.
I just had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah. Do you think this movie is going to be any good? I mean, this is a great episode. I do. This is where I take my, when I'm not a big comic book guy. I didn't know this is where I found out, the origin of Clayface, like the actual real, through these episodes. But do you think the movies are actually going to, do this justice? I don't know. I mean,
I hope so. I really do.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, because it looks good. They're going down a dark corridor, and I'm hoping, because I know the person who's behind the movie, does love the Batman the Animated Series on there. I'm hoping that they reflect on the addiction of the cosmetic cream that is described in this series.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good storyline, especially, even for today with, we've got lots of people who are, various plastic surgeries and all kinds of Botox and stuff. I mean, it's even more relevant today, this sort of addiction to beauty and that kind of thing. It's a little bit rarer back then. And plus, Clayface is a man as opposed to a woman. It's women who generally do that stuff more, but still, very, very relevant. And, it's some interesting commentary on.
There's a movie coming out soon also that deals with body morphing onto their, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it has to deal with basically her grinding down the bones of dead people and using it, injecting it into her body. But it basically has some tragic side effects. And then, of course, back in 2024, Demi Moore starred in The Substance. If you haven't seen that, that's a great movie. I mean, it is a really, really good movie. A woman who's trying to relive her career, finds a a way of sort of separating herself and creating a younger version of her body, and basically it goes out there to continue her career. But it
That
ends up
sounds
with, yeah, it's good. Uh, it's just the way it ends. It is just horrifying, and I'm expecting that to come out of freaking this Clayface movie as well.
There's lots you can do with it. I mean, it
Oh,
could
yeah.
be
Yeah.
it can be well done. It's the kind of this sort of not noir style, but this darker style like we saw with the Penguin, right? Like it's the same type of this darker the Batman, right?
Well, there's another character in the episode, one of the henchmen, who basically is afraid of disease. And he's carrying around he's always carrying around like a napkin always to clean his hands and stuff like that. And then what happens, he ends up in the hospital because Daggett orders him to kill Lucius Fox, and basically Batman corners him in a room with infectious diseases, and he's freaking out, and he puts up Batman puts a jar right up on top of the shelf above him and keeps punching and says, "Tell me, who's behind," he's telling him who's
Yeah,
who.
yeah, we got. So I was gonna ask you something. I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I forgot.
Oh, okay.
I had it in my head and it slipped out. Sorry.
But this whole episode, you're dealing with addiction, or some mental health issue, and not only Matt's problem. You have other characters that has that problem. You have the other guy, he's wearing a headset all the time, that he's paranoid that that the cops are going to come after him. He keeps listening on that headset, from the police blotters on there. So you have a lot of this. But Hagen, I mean, this is a tragic story for a character like this. A great actor, had a lot of great movies, and then he had the accident, disfigured his face, and then when he started using the cream, he becomes a better actor and makes a lot more movies, and then then comes the price of of this, which basically Daggett orders him to do these things, and then at the point Daggett's men just completely gives him an overdose of of the stuff that just basically turns him into this horrific creature.
There seems to be a lot of parallel between this Clayface and Elastigirl from Doom Patrol.
Yes.
She was the old Hollywood star doused with chemicals by the chief, and that she's got pretty much the same power as him. Because I remember an episode of Titans where they first introduced the Doom Patrol. They show her in her bedroom when she's relaxed, and she's just an amorphous blob on the bed.
Yeah,
I just realized that.
It's a shocking. Yeah, no, it's a shocking situation to that point.
Well, there's an episode in one of the early seasons of The Flash. There was they had a metahuman that could change his appearance, and there's a scene at the end where he's in the cell and he drops what he looks like, or he stops using his powers, and he's basically like a mannequin. He does not remember what he looks like, so he can't take his original face.
Yeah, that's right, Keely. Ron Perlman voiced another Batman villain in another animated the Batman. He did Killer Croc.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of overlapping with a lot of these voice actors.
Always. But that that was good on the series, because you knew the voices well, and they played the characters very well. I mean, Matt Hagen was very well done to that point. And when Batman confronted him finally, showing him like this scene right here, he couldn't control his abilities, making him morph into many different faces, or many of his characters in movies to that point. And then of course he goes electrocuted, but then spoilers, the ending on there, when you thought Matt was dead, Matt shows up at the very end as a woman. His best friend's like, at the hospital, reminiscing on him, thinking that he's dead, and woman passes by, and of course she starts to laugh, and the laugh turns into Matt's laugh as Clayface.
I remember there's a scene where Batman and Clayface are hanging from a cliff. You got the other guy on top, like, and Batman's trying to hold on, and it's raining.
Oh,
And
that's the episode where he splits into
all
two.
of a
That he's a little girl.
And you see Batman really trying his best, but the mud is just slipping out of his hands.
Yeah, there's a lot of great episodes with him. In fact, there was the Christmas episode also he was in.
Yeah,
where we start to learn that he's able to multiply outward, like bits and pieces of him.
Yeah. So what's number one, Madman?
Oh, of course. Can you guess what number one is? The greatest episode that's pretty much on pretty much everyone's number one, in their top 10. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
what is it?
Running a little slow. Heart of Ice.
Yes.
Episode 14, season 1.
Another good one, yeah.
The first appearance of Mr. Freeze, which happens to be one of the best one. Yeah, Keely Child's Mudslide was the episode we were just talking about. Yeah, on there. Of course, Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze, played by the great Michael Ansara from Star Trek. Kane from Star Trek.
So his list, according to what I'm reading, is complex bereavement disorder, depression, and severe obsession. That is fascinating to me.
Yes. And let me give you a little bit of the plot. Batman follows a strange trail of heists at various Gothcorp offices by the same man, Mr. Freeze, a strange individual clad in a powerful suit and armed with a freezing gun, a weapon that fires a beam capable of freezing anything into sheets of ice. Batman pieces together the stolen items and discovers that Freeze is building a massive ice cannon that is nearly complete, save for a vital piece of equipment from Gothcorp. Acting rapidly, he arrives at Gothcorp offices to engage Freeze, only to be partially frozen by him. As Freeze and his henchmen escape, he orders that they leave one of their own behind. His legs accidentally frozen by Freeze's weapon. Batman chooses to help the man rather than chase Freeze. But it's basically after using a special chemical bath to relieve the man, Batman, who himself developed a cold from the encounter, visits Gothcorp CEO Ferris Boyle as Bruce Wayne, hoping to learn who might have a grudge against the company. Boyle says the only person he could think of is dead, a former employee and research scientist whose funding was cut, and we all know what goes on from that. Yes, and Mark Hamill voices Ferris Boyle in this episode as well. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, with this, because his wife is frozen in suspended animation, and he's trying to cure her, but yet, Ferris just wants to cut the budget and basically shut down the thing that's keeping his wife alive.
This episode won the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program.
Yes. Yes. This is some of Paul Dini's great writing on this. Mm-hmm. Bruce Timm directed this. Paul Dini wrote this. Paul Dini throughout the entire series was fantastic on this. I know there's been other YouTubers that have broken down each of these episodes one by one. There's one that went through the entire, all the episodes, and broke down who wrote it, who did this, and that. And it is great, that you see stuff like this out there, that it's still available. It's not lost like a lot of other other animation works have been, has been happening as of late. Batman the Animated Series, a great series, good stories. It brings Batman in a different light than we've seen in the past. Past, and present day as well. This is the Dark Knight.
This version, you're talking about bringing out a different version. This version of Mr. Freeze went from the goofy, like Freeze, like ice pun guy in like a snow jacket.
The Schwarzenegger version.
Well, not just the Schwarzenegger version as
No.
well. It's like this one in the Adam West Batman. He was just like this guy in a uh, weather jacket. This gave him depth. This gave him a reason to be the way he is, and the design of him is that retro futuristic look, as I call it. The almost like if you took a turbine, like an old fashioned turbine, and turned it into a suit. That's what I always felt like Freeze looked like. Like that belt of his was like an ice machine that just kept him cold, not just a suit. And one of my absolute favorite Batman villains. Villains I say in quotation marks. To the point, let me see if I hope I shared this with y'all before. I got the animated. This is how much I love this show. I have the Batman the animated Batmobile. It has Harley Quinn. It's got Batman, and then look who it's got. It's got Mr. Freeze with his freeze gun. I cannot wait to build it. Oh shit! There's Batman, and then Harley Quinn with her mallet. I love this, and it's pretty cool. It comes with like a display case, and like I haven't opened this yet. Yeah, it's got a display case and some information on it. It's got those Lego blasters and the turbine turns. I'm looking forward to really. Okay, take me off now. I'm saving it for a build stream with my friend Kaiser whenever he gets a chance. You cannot get. They discontinued that set. I got that the very last day Walmart offered to sell it. I got one of the last ones. Only cost me like $50-$60, and it'll cost you about the same much on eBay. But I don't trust eBay.
Just for those of you who haven't realized, in the 60s Batman series, Mr. Freeze was played by 3 actors. Season 1 was George Sanders. Season 2 was Otto Preminger. And the latter half of season 2 was also Eli Wallach. So you had three Mr. Freezes in the series. I think Preminger and Wallach was like I think the most favorites of the from the 1960s series itself. But this one in the animated series, I mean, still, it's a intense episode. That's why it gives a great in depth, especially that ending where he's sitting in Arkham. In the cell with all the snow,
yes.
And he's holding a figurine that resemblance of his wife, in there, and basically it's like it's he could cry, like he says if I could, pity that I can't have tears to cry to that point, as far because of the thing that's happening to him, that he's frozen on there, and then of course, like we said before. He has an ending in the Batman Beyond series, which basically, he gets, returned back to be fully human again, but it's only short lived because when Mr. Freeze reaches Batman the Animated into the Batman Beyond series, he's only just the head. That's all that's left of him. Because basically his whole body has deteriorated because of the chemicals in his body and the freezing process. It just literally he's just wasted away, and it's just his head and brain just still lives. But they transferred it into another body, and basically that body is working for some time, but then it begins to deteriorate. It begins to go back onto there, and it's a great battle because he's fighting Batman Beyond's villain on there, which I'm trying to remember the name of the villain. Jesus, I'm not doing good today. But that villain has the ability of nuclear energy.
It's the CEO of Wayne Tech.
Yeah, they're basically the current CEO of Wayne Tech on there, and they get it's like
Atomic Skull.
No, not Atomic Skull. Hang on a second.
Keep
it going for just a bit.
No, you got it. I got it. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
You're better talking.
The fight is between Mr. Freeze and this. It's just radiation versus freeze, which is going to win in the long run, and it's a really good
Blight.
fight. Blight,
There-
that's right. It's
Yes.
Blight.
Atomic Skull was another character with the exact same affliction and exact same powers.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But all in all, it's on that. Did you see this one, Snob?
Oh, I'm not sure if I've seen. Have I seen this one? I do like this. This is my favorite. I agree with you guys. This is my favorite depiction of Mister Freeze. And I agree. Like this gives him depth and character. A reason for being, and not the goofy. Hey, I'm gonna just freeze everything all the time.
yeah.
And of course, the most known one was probably the Schwarzenegger, version from the
Movie
80s and 90s Batman. And that was a little bit, you're right. It's all for, freeze puns and, cold jokes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is much, that movie has the same kind of storyline with, his wife and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how diamonds make cold personally, but, this is a much better. This is similar to the comic. There was a small, DC put out a bunch of sort of special comics about a couple of villains, and I think Freeze was one of them, like a limited series. And they go with this styling and everything, and I much prefer that. It's much better. I agree.
Yeah, and there's a movie right after Mask of the Phantasm, which was Sub-Zero, which continues part of the storyline where basically he's living in the Arctic.
Yeah.
And basically, he figured out a way of saving his wife, but someone else has to die because of that, and ends up to be Batgirl on there. Derek Parros, aka Blight, yeah. That he kidnaps Batgirl to cure his wife on there. And that has a great ending to it. That the wife does end up, basically Bruce Wayne ends up curing her, figuring out a cure for her. She moves on with her life, and he's up in the Arctic with polar bears, just walking in the middle of the Arctic.
Why didn't he do that years ago and would have saved everyone so much fucking trouble?
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is, Bruce didn't.
The wife rejects him, right?
The wife rejects him, yeah.
Because of I think I've seen that one as well.
That was in that. I think that was later on, but because I remember like the Sub-Zero ends with him watching a news report on her recovery, and he just walks off into the tundra.
Yeah.
So he never really reunites with her.
But you hear in Batman Beyond, you hear what happens.
Yeah.
That's where it's explained.
Now, before we go, I'd like to share one of my favorite episodes. If that's
go right ahead.
One of my favorites is The Mechanic.
Oh, yes.
The one where they're in this car chase with Penguin, and they just almost total the Batmobile. So it's revealed that Batman has this secret garage set up with this guy who he used to be this big automotive designer who got disbarred for pointing out some flaws in his company's product. And it ends with like the Penguin intercepting like some order forms, and he puts it together like the only car in the world that would use this kind of equipment is the Batmobile. So he backtraces it, finds the mechanic, and uses that connection to create like his own car almost, I think. And it's this whole, it's all about, and I love the scene where Earl, the mechanic's name's Earl. He's telling the story, like his backstory to how he got fired. He's walking down the street. He's been blacklisted from every automotive company in Gotham. And you see Batman pull up in the Bat car, which was the Batmobile like in the 30s and 40s, which was basically just like a regular car with like a bat symbol on it. And it just comes up and breaks down in front of Earl. And he's like, well, Batman gets out, like, I need a new car. And he designs the whole thing. It's like all about designing and building the Batmobile. And it took a lot of the plot, a little bit from the plot from Batman Returns with Penguin taking over the Batmobile that way. Because he does it in the episode. It's one of my favorites because it really gives you the backstory of one of the coolest cars in media history. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, it's a great episode. All these episodes are really good. I mean, when you get into the Adventures of Batman and Robin, it kind of slides off because of the animation change. But in the seasons prior, it's so well done to that point. You know, if it wasn't for Batman Returns, we wouldn't have the Penguin sabotaging and taking control of the Batmobile. Yeah, that one also as well, really. But when you look into the point of what we start discussing earlier with Invincible versus Batman the Animated Series, Invincible is okay in its certain, elements, storylines, and stuff like that. But when you come to Batman the Animated Series, it's a much better product, as far as the overall story, the animation, the details of each of the characters, what they go through, and the continuation of certain characters, especially when they do the two-parters or when they split, like for example the Ra's al Ghul, you had that start out when the introduction of Talia, and then later on, she and Robin are kidnapped, and they go through this whole thing with the Demon's Quest, and that's the things that they did with this series, you know Batman overall. And we said earlier, the opening to Batman the Animated Series is one of the best openings of a TV show ever.
Mhm.
There is no Batman the Animated Series. It's just Batman standing there. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just the lightning hitting, and you see Batman silhouette in the air, and that's it. And then it goes into the title card. Perfect to what it's to its
All
series.
these title and every title card for every episode was hand drawn.
Yes. To that point.
It's got that Art Deco style. Like you really couldn't tell what year Gotham was in, like the series was in. It looked like the 40s, but Bruce Timm in in an interview he described it as like if the 40s never ended. Like you had these computers, you had cell phones, you had computers, but then you had like black and white TV, you had that Art Deco. The cars looked like they were still from the 40s. You never really knew when it was, so that made it really timeless.
Mhm.
It didn't really hold back on that. And to me, it's the best Gotham. We've seen Gotham rendered so many times, but the animated series Gotham, it's in itself is just beautiful. The Art Deco style, the gangster feel of it, just
Mhm.
awesome.
Any final thoughts, Snap?
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with a lot of that. This is some of the. I mean, DC has some of the best um, superhero movies and television shows, and I'd say that's within the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
That's where and even with the exception, I mean, some of the new Marvel stuff has been good. Endgame, people like that, and Infinity War and stuff. But if you want constant, good quality superhero movies and television shows, you have to go with the DC animated universe. They've been consistently writing good stories with a style of animation that I really like for the most part, except for that sort of that Japanese style where they threw a couple of those ones in
Batman
more
Ninja
lately.
or something.
Yeah, I'm not as big fan of that, but this is the style. Like this animated series here has the style that I prefer. Yeah, there's some great some of the best stuff. I would say Cam and I have talked about doing a show about this, and looking at the DC AU, and it's some of the, like I said, some of the best storytelling, some great storytelling, especially. And I would agree with you that this first season has got a lot of excellent storylines in it. Since I missed the Invincible, I'll talk a little bit about Invincible real quick. I've seen season 1 of the show, but I have read the entire history of Invincible. I have it, and I do enjoy it. It's good, the storyline, and it's quite different than there's a whole bunch of different things that happen. You've got space, you've got these. It's a little more unusual than a typical sort of Superman, Batman type style comic where Batman goes out and just stops the bad guys, and then on the next episode. There's a lot more slice of life in Invincible. I heard you guys summarize it. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen season 2, but I don't really care to see it. They're starting to race swap characters for no reason, in my view. And I've read the entire thing anyway, so I kind of know where it goes. And I don't, you're correct about your points about all the gore and from what I'm seeing, some poor animation. They're not doing a good job on that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, so why bother is my kind of feeling towards the whole thing. So I'm not keen to watch, after the first season, I'm not keen to watch anymore.
There's a reason that these characters in Batman have lasted pretty much for 30 years. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, Kevin Conroy's last scene he ever recorded was the wall of antimatter is coming across that version of Gotham, and it's Batman and Joker on a rooftop fighting as the wall is coming towards them. And Kevin Conroy's last line, he says, like, if I'm going out, at least I'm going out as like I've always done, as Batman. And then they get engulfed and they disappear. That was his last line before passing away of cancer. These characters. Now, I enjoy Invincible, but I enjoy this for entirely different reasons. For much more important, this means more to me than Invincible ever will.
Oh yeah, Batman is a much better character for sure. Yes. I mean, I found that I found the Invincible character interesting because it was different, but it doesn't hold a candle to, let me say, good Batman, because there are some Batman that are not as good, but. I mean, for me, the animated series, some of these DC animated universe movies are peak Batman, and this is probably the peak Batman for me.
It's like Amanda Waller said in the epilogue, that basically Batman doesn't have superpowers or anything like that. It's his brain. It's his wonderful brain that basically, his knowledge, his experience, that basically makes Batman. He doesn't have that super strength. He's fought Superman. He's fought all these other villains and stuff like that. He's fought Darkseid. Yes, he is
the one creature in creation that dodged and outmaneuvered Darkseid's Omega beams.
Yeah.
Oh, he says it himself. Oh, Darkseid said it himself. He's like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
and it's this idea, like, between, like, you remember that line in the first Avengers? Cap looks at Iron Man and says, "If we take that fancy suit away, what are you? A billionaire, playboy, philanthropist? Take Batman's utility belt away from you. You have a genius level detective, ninja master, and it's like a doctorate in almost every scientific field you can think of." Like, there's one in the Batman when he meets Martian Manhunter. They're sitting at the cafe. He's like, and he deduces that he's from Mars. And he's like, "How do you know that?" He's like, I've studied every single science you could think of, even the most obscure." And in New Frontier, when he confronts the Martian Manhunter, he looks at him as he's getting out. One of the coldest lines, he's like, "I got a piece of radioactive rock for the one in Metropolis. All I need for you is a penny for a matchbook." And just so badass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So basically, let's finish off with this, because we got to send some of these people off. The Archiverse video games, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Greater than.
Yeah, greater. Also, I just want to say, over on Rumble, to Deeple 101, who has just joined us, subscribe to us over there. Thank you, Deeple, on there. We really do appreciate that.
And in the Rumble.
Yeah. Yep. Also, for those of you out there who are subscribed to me on YouTube, please go over to Rumble and subscribe, because, like I said, we've gotten 500 plus have been demonetized here on YouTube, and growing every day. There's going to be I hate to say this, but there's going to be a mass exodus soon. It's going to be a mass exodus, and we're trying to keep staying here. Rumble X, we're trying to stay here, but there's going to be a point, could be that YouTube kicks us off. So
we should talk about that on a show one time.
Yeah.
I'm putting that together on there. And almost lost connection, so we're going to have to go there. That's just reminding me. Let's go. Coming up next in under an hour, Dean Evergreen's Destiny Dispatch. The link is in the chat there. He's going to be talking about treasure, how treasure is created, and the freedom you have as a GM to use the random tables as you see fit. So do catch that on Dean's channel coming up within the hour on there. And then, of course, God, I'm lost here a second there. Outpost, what do you got coming up?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, if whenever I can get a time set with my friend Kaiser Pineapple, we will be doing a Lego build stream. Just hanging out, shooting shit, and finally breaking open my Lego Batmobile.
Oh, that's going to be good. That is going to be good. Okay. And Snob, what do you got coming? Oh, obviously, what's tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow night. Yeah. We got Shadow Dancing, Babylon 5. We're going to look at that. The second last episode before the season 3 finale.
I forgot
and
about
this is
that.
peak Babylon 5 we're in here now. Season 3, season 4. We're in the best of Babylon 5. Come and watch us. Outpost is going to be there, and so is you're going to be there too, right?
Yes, that's right.
I think,
correct.
You are two of our guest hosts for that. Yeah, and should be good. And this Sunday, I think we're doing. We're going to talk about animation as well, but we're going to keep it to Cam and I. But we're keeping it to no anime, just animation, Western.
Yeah.
And I believe we're going to keep out the superhero one. So I don't think we'll be including. We're talking about some of the best animation that you should watch, Western animation. I think we're keeping out the superhero stuff too because we're trying to keep it a little bit more focused. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this Sunday.
And of course, we got the season finale coming up for the retrospective, which is the next week, and I think the week after you're doing the recap. Correct?
Yeah. We always do the recap after usually a longer show. We get on there, we talk about the season overall. We do a recap, and then we push on to season 4, part 1.
And next week we are going to be showing the trailer premiere for season 4.
Yes, Madman took some time and put together a great trailer for part 1 and part 2. We're splitting them up because they're kind of different. I understand. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm the virgin.
Yeah, because the story kind of splits apart. The first couple of episodes is the continuation of the Shadow War, and then it becomes the Earth Civil War from at one point on. So it's best for us to break it up, so at least we can recap the Shadow War.
That's what I'm told. I don't know because I haven't seen it.
When we get there, we'll get there.
That's what he's saying. It could be true. We'll find out. But that's how we're going to do it anyway. We're going to split it up. And
Keely Chow says, thank you for a great show.
Yeah.
I thank those of you who have watched. Thanks to my panelists here. We've had, don't forget to subscribe, like, share. After the show, you could send a thank you, if you want to throw a couple bucks at us, coffee or anything to that nature, or down in the links below. We have the t-shirts listed in there. They're all different types. We got new t-shirts on the way. Hopefully we'll have them by the summer. I'm developing them right now. I know Jason was just talking on the stream today that maybe we might look at vendors that we all might be able to put t-shirts on there. Of course, we haven't had that meeting yet, so let's see what happens with that. You can just click on there on Shop Q to Cast. Got some great t-shirts right now. Decent prices on there, so do check them out. Mugs as well. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, we got also videos up the next 3 days. We got Tubi, video on Tubi, another talk about Invincible, and the return of Ninja Scroll to the theaters. That's coming very, very soon on there as well. So stay mad, stay cool, fight against censorship, take in some anime, take in some manga. Enjoy your week. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Laters.
Night.
Hey everyone! Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We truly appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to check out our official merch shop and our amazing affiliate partners. Until next time, mwah!